used to Abdullah's computer, but it's a very good computer. Too good for me. Okay, so here we go. Alright, IVS 201. This is about Aqaid. So you have said in IVS 201, hence you can consider ilm of God as a quality of essence or a quality of action. If you consider it as a quality of essence, it's eternal. But if you consider it as a quality of action, then the ma'loom, what is known, must exist so that this ilm can be abstracted from the relation that is between God and that subject. This relation has two sides, and one side comes in a certain time and space. So knowledge comes in a certain time and space, without God being changed or subject to changes that happen to the other side. It's only the relation which is changing. Therefore, you have to remember there are two ways of thinking of God's knowledge. Question: are you meaning that the action is not the essential part to Allah and that it happens to His power? Sorry, let me just look at this. Are you meaning that the action is not the essential part to Allah and what it happens to His power to will something into being? Like, for example, myself, He has all knowledge of me. However, when He wills for me to come into existence, He wills it, and that produces the action of me coming into existence. Also, what are your thoughts on Allah's will being essential to Him, or is it not essential to Him? So I guess the question, the format was a little bit, but I think they're asking about Allah's will and whether that is essential to Him or not essential to Him. And if I wasn't able to ask this question properly by whoever asked it, please reformulate it perhaps at a future time. Was it clear, Sheikhna, or we go to another one? Maybe we go to another one and make sure the question is more clear so we don't answer another question that the person never meant to ask. Sorry about that. Self-development. When Allah in the Quran talks about akhirah, does akhirah always mean the next life or the real life? Or can it also mean things that have permanence and that we may experience even in this life? For example, when we talk about selling akhirah for dunya, does it also include particular instances of giving preference to things from dunya over things that remain, such as friendship, loyalty, honor, etc.?
Yeah, so akhirah means the hereafter, but anything that we do in dunya still can be either related to dunya or akhirah. So certain things we do, and they would only remain in dunya. They cannot have any impact or positive impact for our akhirah. Because if someone is harming his akhirah, we are not saying that he is working for akhirah. Yeah? So anything that we do in dunya which has positive impact on our condition after life, this is to will the hereafter. This is to be interested in hereafter and to work after hereafter. So the hereafter or akhirah is not about dunya, but in dunya you can seek hereafter, you can seek akhirah. Some people have said akhirah is indeed a deeper or inner aspect of dunya. Means you can say dunya is the surface and akhirah is the inner layer. Depending on this ayah, يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. They only know the outward aspect of dunya, and they are heedless with respect to the hereafter. So it means that the hereafter is the batin or the inner side of this life. So the surface of this life is only dunya, the batin is akhirah. So when you are in this dunya, you can only look at the surface and only aim at worldly gain, or you can aim at akhirah and gaining for your akhirah.
Last question, one more.
One more question, maybe.
2 is always better. So this question about Prophet Adam.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam.
I have been taught that Prophet Adam had Shaitan whisper to him, and Prophet Adam thought that eating from the tree and going into a struggled life would make him more closer to Allah, and so he chose the path of hardship to do Shaitan's trick. On the Imam webinar, you mentioned about Ma'soom not being even touched by Shaitan. Can you help in correcting my prior teaching of Prophet Adam and that which Shaitan actually did or did not even approach him? I'm a bit confused about these two teachings and would like your help in straightening these concepts out. Shukran.
Yes. We said that mukhlasin, those who are purified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Shaitan would not go to deceive them. لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. So I'm going to deceive them all except those servants of you who are purified. Muttaqin, Shaitan can go and touch them, but they will become alert. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ تَذَكَّرُوا فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ. So this is the distinction we made between muttaqi and mukhlas. Muttaqi can be touched by Shaitan, but mukhlas is someone that Shaitan would not waste his time to go and deceive him. With respect to Adam alayhi salam, he was in a special condition. He was not in the world of obligation. He was not in darut taklif. Therefore, we can say that Adam alayhi salam, if he was in dunya and he had done this would be against his isma, because this would be considered as a technical sin. But he did this in the world of no taklif. That was what we say, amr irshadi. Like, for example, if an advisor give you advice, suppose, for example, your leader that you have to obey, at the same time he is your medical doctor, and he gives you a prescription, which is, for example, says, makes you stronger, makes your body stronger. If you don't listen to this advice, you have not committed a sin, because he, from another aspect, is also someone that you must obey. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give Amr Mawlavi a command as a master, he can give a command as advisor. So because that world was not world of taklif, so not listening to that command would deprive him being in that garden, that Jannah. Okay, he didn't listen and he suffered. So it just stops here. It's not that if you don't listen to the advisor or to doctor, for example, you suffer in your health and you have also committed a sin. Unless, of course, you do terribly wrong with your health, that becomes haram, that's another issue. But something that is not a matter of, threatening your health seriously. So, Adam alayhi salam made mistake, asa Adamu rabbahu faghawa, but that mistake is not technically a sin, a fiqhi sin, because fiqhi sin has to be in darut taklif, and that was not darut taklif.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna. So that brings us to the favorite part. I don't know if it's favorite or special.
Can I give you an example?
Sure.
If we, for example, say, for the sake of training, someone is going to become a driver. for the sake of training, we take him to a special district made for drivers who want to be trained and tested. Then, in that specific environment that we have prepared for testing and training, if he makes a mistake, police is not going to find him. Yes, he's not going to pass the test, but because that is place made for this purpose. It's not so serious. It's not it's not a kind of darut taklif. Yes.
Thank you so much. So, inshallah, we are. How many minutes do we have left? Is the off? The time is a bit off. With
2-3 minutes.
2-3 minutes.
How many people are online?
Number of participants that we have are